that sound fair?
Smooth.
That was so good, bro.
So smooth. I love that.
That was so good. And today we have three very special guests, top 1% in the whole life insurance industry, maybe 0.01% actually with these three heavyweights on here. So we're super fired up. Easton, Patton, Shadi, and Rob, thank you guys for getting on. We appreciate it.
Appreciate you having us.
You guys are awesome. Appreciate you.
We're super excited for this one. We're going to bring the heat today, you guys. Everyone's looking forward to it.
If we can get started first, let's start Easton with you, then Shadi will go to you, and then Rob. If you can just quickly, everyone knows who you are for the most part on our team, but we're going to put this on YouTube. So if you guys can just introduce yourself, how long you've been in the industry, how long with FFL, and your record number of families protected in one calendar year.
Sweet. So I've been here 4 years in the industry and 4 years at FFL. It's the only place I've ever done insurance. And then my biggest family's help year is 940.
Huge.
Shadi.
My turn. Okay, so I have been in the industry been about 2 years, and my biggest family help about 1380.
1380.
I shorted you before. I apologize, bro.
Yeah, you broke my heart, but it's okay.
Gets to be so much, you just lose track. I'm like 1,000, 1,500, 2,000. It'll be 2,000 soon, I'm sure. Rob.
That's the goal. That's the goal.
Crazy. So I've been with the company for 4 years. I guess Easton, you and I came on right around the same time, which is cool. I didn't even realize that. And then right around 1,000 families.
Wow.
Amazing.
You guys, there's a lot of premium on this screen right now.
All right. So we're going to open up the chat here, guys. I have a couple that you guys already sent in. If you guys want to just drop them in just in the regular chat, not even the Q&A, we'll get those started. But we're going to go in order, same way, Easton, Shadi, and then Rob. And so Easton, I'm going to start off with some phone objections. And the first one's going to be you call a client and immediately, how long will this take?
I just say, hey, it should take about, 10, 15 minutes, depending on your questions. I want to respect your time and answer everything that you've got for me. So if you can just, settle in for like 10, 15, I'll rip through it pretty quick.
I don't have time for this right now.
Cool. I don't have a whole lot of time either. As I mentioned right away, I've got to do this like 14 different times today. So either you got a 10 to 15 minute gap now, or I try to find out as soon as possible, are you guys still working? If you're retired, why are you not free right now? Are you picking up the grandkids? Like, I just want to know why they don't have time so that I can redirect. Cool, I don't have a ton of time, so if now doesn't work, all good. What's the latest that you're typically wrapped up from your day? Because that's just like a generic way to find out a timeline.
Money.
I love it. All right, Shadi. We're gonna start on the easier side and then ramp up a little bit harder. So first one,
You're picking on me, aren't you?
I already got this taken care of.
Perfect. I'm the local manager, supposed to go over the info with you, make sure they got up-to-date coverage, man. You still have 1, 2, 3 minutes, is that correct?
Yes.
Perfect. Hey, it's about 10, 15 minute appointment. We're just gonna go over the info, see, make sure that you got up-to-date coverage. So I'm gonna be there tomorrow. I have a 3 p.m. or 5 p.m. which will work best for you.
Money.
Love that. Just back and taking control.
All right, Rob, I know you love this one, bro. I never filled anything out. I don't know what you're talking about.
You know what? You might be like me and your wife filled that out for you. Rather than call her, let me just verify the information real quick here and I'll have you right off the phone.
I like that.
Money.
Easton. Hey, I just talked to somebody last week.
Thank God, that makes my job significantly easier. Did you guys end up getting the green light and your policy out in the mail yet, or where are you guys at?
I think that we got something. I don't know.
Okay, sweet. Why don't you do this for me, Hayden? Can you snag that really quick? And I can just do a quick run through. I can update everything. And obviously, I'm sure you're tired of getting called. I'm tired of calling you. It'll just make it easier for both of us. Do you mind grabbing that real fast so I can update your stuff?
It hasn't even got here yet. I think it was like that company, America, and it was, I don't know, $100 a month.
All right. Well, why don't we do this? Are you still working full time, retired, disabled, blah, blah, blah? What's the latest that you're typically done tomorrow? Because I'm going to be right around the corner from you in the evening.
Got it.
And then I'll just pick a time and lock them in.
Perfect. Shoddy, hey, I can't afford anything. I'm not working. I'm low income. I can't afford anything.
With all the, that's in home or it's on phone?
Either one.
All right. So with all due respect, I mean, I see you have a cable here. I don't know why would you prefer your cable over your family here. Okay, the whole point of us doing this today is to protect your family, correct? Yes, perfect. Well, at this point, why do one of two things? You're paying extra money toward the cable now for channel that you don't even use. So let's go ahead and set this up today. Call your cable company tomorrow and make sure you drop that cost down by taking some of those channels down. That way you can afford this and you can afford your entertainment.
Love that. What if it was over the phone?
Same thing. Because I already built a report in the beginning with, right? So I already know what their expenses is like. What they're spending on cable, what they're spending on internet, what they're spending on car payments. So now I'm using all that as an ammunition against them.
I love that. That's my favorite. I love when they're like, when you're in their house and they're smoking cigarettes, you see like an ashtray, there's cigarettes, and they're like, I can't afford this, but they spend $500 on cigarettes a month.
I call them out every time. So
every time. I love that.
I don't doubt it. Rob, let's go with maybe it's an older person. Let's say like they're looking for a funeral final expense, and you get them on the phone. Rob, I have so many medications, I probably can't even qualify.
Perfect. That's exactly why I'm calling. We're brokers, and I've never met a client that I haven't been able to help. So let me just verify a little bit of information here, and I bet you we'll be able to find a plan that'll not only fit your situation, but most importantly, your budget. Money.
Love that. Easton, let's go with, this will be going for you over the phone. Hey, I just don't want to share my information over the phone. I'm not comfortable.
Hey, all good. Do you have like a cell phone or access to internet really quick? Because I can just text you like a free, like a copy of my state ID, and then I can actually help you get online, and I'll help you get on Department of Insurance for Arizona. And we'll go through all the stuff to punch in, and then I can do a FaceTime video chat, send a picture of myself. Like I've got all this. You're like a lot of my clients, like they're a little bit worried because it is 2023. So we've got all these producer databases set up so that you can see I'm a real person and that this is what I do for a job. So do you mind grabbing like a computer or phone or something? I'll send this to you real fast. And then I just walk them through how to look me up, verify my ID. I'll literally FaceTime people especially if it's over the phone, just so they can like, hey, this is me. Here's my stuff. Here's my ID. Let's go.
Love it. Let's go with, you get to the end of the application. Hey, I'm not giving my bank account information out until I know that I'm fully approved and I get the policy.
So Mr. Klan, remember when we said at first, we're going to do the first application. The first signature part will be your HIPAA authorization and driving history. And remember, once we put that in, I told you we're going to go and link your bank account so you can start the payment, the audit draft. Do you remember we covered that up front, right?
Yep.
Okay. So what's the holdup? You gave me all the information. So I don't understand the holdup here. So you told me your family is the most important thing to you, correct?
Correct.
And we covered the fact that they're going to be auto draft out of your bank account. You understand that, correct?
Yep.
And you do understand that if you're not approved, they're not going to take any money out because it becomes illegal. You know that, correct?
Okay, makes sense.
So what's the holdup?
I love it.
Love that. What's the holdup?
You just hammer them.
That's money. Rob, I have one for you. It's an older person and you're getting them like $10,000 of coverage or $5,000 of coverage for $200 a month. And it just financially, it doesn't make sense. They're like, hey, well, I can go out of pocket for this. Why would I pay that $250 a month for that low of coverage?
Well, I'm going to ask them a question of if you can pay that out of pocket now, why are we talking? And I'm going to do I'm going to ask as many follow-up questions as I can so they can give me some ammunition. It might take 2 or 3, 4 follow-up, but when I get into those positions, it's like we're on the phone for a reason. So rather than get combative, like, dude, I love how Shadi's such a bulldog. I never was able to get away with that kind of stuff. I was always trying to take the path of least resistance with clients by them giving me as much ammunition as I possibly could have. So it wasn't like I was coercing them into something that, you know, maybe they weren't fully on board with. Shadi, I'm not saying you're doing that. It works for you. For me, I'm going to ask, like, so why are we talking now? Well, you know, I was just shopping around. Well, have you spoke to any other agents before? Yes. What have they told you? Same thing as you're telling me. Well, if we're all telling you the same thing, let me look and see if there's other options that we can get creative with. Maybe if it's not 250, maybe we can get it down to 200, but we have to be realistic. You're 82 years old and you've had a heart attack, so our options are going to be limited. Also, if we can get you an immediate same day death benefit, if we're coming out of pocket for $250 a month per se, that's $3,000 a year. Well, the life expectancy on a healthy person is 82 years old. You're right there at the end of it, and you're taking medications. You've been treated for things that shorten that lifespan. Technically, in the insurance company's eyes, you're past that already. And you got a $10,000 benefit here. You should be thanking them for issuing you the policy, because the likelihood of you being able to pay this out of pocket or paying this monthly, saving this money, you're not going to live another 3 or 4 years. I hate to say it, but I need to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. You want to hear you're going to live forever and blah, 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 blah. We get this to you for $5 a month, whatever it is. That isn't reality. The reality is that this is expensive insurance. But the other side of this is that likely when something's going to happen, it's going to be a year and a half down the road. And there's no way you would have paid into this as much as it's worth. So this is a good decision. Now, again, like I said earlier in the presentation, we need to qualify for this. And you're making my job a little more difficult than somebody who maybe isn't taking some of these medications that you are. So let's start an application to see if we can, number one, qualify, and then we'll revisit the affordability after we get a tentative approval. Does that sound fair?
Smooth.
That was so good, bro.
So smooth. I love that.
That was so good. Easton, let's go with.
Give Easton the hardest one we have on there.
I'm gonna try to find this one. Here we go. This is somewhat difficult. Let's say you have someone age, you know, let's say 20 to 30. Maybe they're not married yet, maybe no kids. You know, they filled out a form, whether it was, you know, mortgage, you know, instant life insurance, whatever. And they basically are like, hey, you know, yes, I did fill it out, but I don't have any dependents. Why do I need this? I'm not going to die anytime soon.
Yeah, dude, that's a huge living benefit sale. So I just start walking them through. And this could even be like a small IUL, like, hey, then if nothing else, don't do it for anyone else, do it for you. Like, have your own back, protect yourself a little bit, build some supplemental cash into your retirement. Dude, it doesn't have to be $1,000 a month, but if their single expenses are, you know, normal, like, what are you going to put aside, 100 or 200 or 500, whatever that number is? I'm just like purchasing living benefit, death benefit, you know, potential cash when they hit a certain age bracket. So I started explaining, dude, what would happen if you got so sick that you could never work again? What would that look like for you long-term financially? And I want them to explain to me what they would do if they could never go and physically pick up a check again. Yeah. So that's like big living benefit sale. Again, selling themselves on doing this selfishly. Like, dude, build yourself some cash, protect yourself a little bit if you get sick. You know, here's a few reasons how you could use it and why. Don't overspend, but give yourself a little bit of a break if something crazy happens to you.
Yeah. IUL, living benefits, cash back. It makes a ton of sense.
Yep.
All right, Shadi, this one someone submitted, and it's funny, but you will hear it. I'm sure you've heard of it. And I'm asking you because it's going to be the best response out of all three of you guys. Shadi, someone says, you know, whatever their beliefs are, whatever the situation is, I'm never going to die. I'm never going to die. I'm going to live forever. I'm never going to die.
And Mr. Klein, with all due respect, I'm going to be very direct and honest with you. Okay. It's not you. We all going to die at some point. Okay. There's two things real in life: taxes and death. Right. And it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when you're going to use this policy. And as far as my established here with you, you both been married for about 40 years, where I established that you love your wife to death. And now let me ask you a question. what's holding you back exactly? I mean, you're paying X amount dollar toward your cable, you're paying X amount dollar toward your Tesla outside, you toward your Harley, but you're not doing that toward your, to protect your wife, knowing that she have no income and you do. It's just not making sense. So usually that's when I stare at her and like, ma'am, he died yesterday. What would you do today? And he tried to talk. I'm like, sir, no disrespect, but dead people don't talk. Ma'am, what would you do? And that's when she jumps in, nah, I don't know. I'm like, okay, why don't you grab me your checkbook so we can get this started?
Boom.
Perfect.
Shadi, you're a savage. I love it.
You got to sometimes.
What was it?
Rob, let's do this one for you. Someone typed it in twice. And so let's say someone says, they're going to bury me in the backyard. Or they're going to dump me in the ocean. I don't need it. Something like that.
I'm going to ask you this one. I'm reading it like, as it's popping up. I'm like, I don't even know what I'm going to say to that person. So if I'm on the phone, I'm probably hanging up. I'm just going to be honest with you. If I'm in front of someone, it's going to be a different story. So rebuttal number one is I'm hanging up. But in person, I'm like, so here's the thing with that. Do you really think your family is going to just dump you in the ocean? Like, are they going to, okay, if they don't want to bear, I'm going to be laughing with them at them a little bit because it's just so silly that they're saying this. Okay, who's in charge of handling your final arrangements? Just throw a name out there. We can make this real. So like, who's doing it, Hayden? Who's handling?
My wife, I guess.
Are you really digging a hole in the backyard and putting him in there like he's a dog?
No.
No. What do you want to do?
Well, I want to make sure that I don't have to do that.
Hayden, would it be accurate to say that when Nina's happy, you're happy?
Accurate.
I don't think she wants to bury you in the backyard, dude. So what if it sounds like maybe this is a budget issue? So if this is a budget issue, let's put together a couple of options that are affordable. So if $75 a month is a little too expensive, let's look at something that's closer to $50 a month. Look, you're not trying to have a Michael Jackson funeral. Obviously, you're not. You were talking about burying you in the backyard. So we don't need to do something with all the bells and whistles. National averages in Scottsdale right now, you can probably get one done for about $6,500. Pine box is okay. It's better than just throwing you in a hole in the backyard. Would you agree with that?
Yep.
Would it make you more comfortable so that you would have the option when something happens to Hayden, so you don't have to bury him in the backyard? So at least you have the choice financially to do something a little bit more traditional.
Yeah.
Well, let's run through some options here and see if you can qualify. Does that sound fair?
Boom. That was money. Easton. That's a little bit out of budget for me. My kids have already told me they're going to get this taken care of for me.
Got it. And Nina, what were you saying that your kids do for work again? And then this is when I regain complete control of that objection. So like, hey, my kids mentioned that they're probably going to take care of it. Cool. Tell me about them a little bit. Where do they live? What do they do for work? Do they have kids? Do you truly think, even if your kid has money, if that's 10, 15, 20 grand, is that where they would want to direct their own hard-earned saved money, especially if they've got their own family? So yes, maybe they said they were going to take care of it for you. Is that truly what you want for them? Your last gift to them when you pass is going to be, hey, I appreciate the 10, 20, 30 grand to put me into the ground. And that's the last thing that they think of when you go. Like, why don't you just do this? Let's do something small. It doesn't have to be 50 grand, but like, 2, 3, 4, 5 grand, 10 grand, something is always going to be better than nothing. So why don't you just do like a little bit of your part? And then if they want to handle the difference because they're doing something crazy, all good, but at least a little bit of help is, I'm assuming that's why I'm here. And like, that's kind of how I would proceed gently.
That was really good.
So,
Can I comment on something there?
Yes.
A line that's always worked really good for me for everybody on this call, and I hope that y'all picked up on this. 3 words that are like magic words. Let's do this. Let's just do this. People just go with the flow because they like to be told what to do, like in a respectful way. And they don't want to be the ones to say, let's do this. They want you to say, let's do this. Because they're not just going to say, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Let's do it. Easton has so much control just with his word tracks, that they're not even feeling the control because it's just like embedded in your words. So just for the new people, those 3 words, let's do this, works really well.
Love it.
that. Let's just
Awesome.
Shoddy, let's go here. Scroll up real quick. I saw a good one. Shoddy, let's go with my current job already supplies it. I already have it through work.
Perfect. Do you understand the difference between group insurance and private insurance, my friend?
No, I think
No?
my company has really good policies.
Yeah, they do. I bet they do. That's because they want to keep you. So it's more for their benefit, not yours. You know that, right?
Oh, really?
So at this point, you quit your job, you're not gonna, or you get fired, or retire, or whatever happens, you lose that benefit. You're not gonna be able to keep it. And I assume I'm here, and we're booking an appointment to actually help you with your private insurance, not your group plan, right? And we're gonna make sure we put something that you actually own, an asset that you actually own, not something that your job owns at any time they can pull it away from you. Is that correct?
Correct. Yep.
All right, so let's go get this started for you and see what we can do for you and get your qualification going. Do you have your ID for me very quick?
Yep. Solid.
dang, that was smooth.
Let's see.
Older person, Rob, older person, not in the best health situation, is dying to get $1 million of term, will not settle for anything else.
Okay. How old?
77.
77. Okay, that changes it. I understand that you want $1 million, Nina, but what's the purpose of that? What are you looking to accomplish with the money that you're leaving your family?
You know, I have 7 kids. I want to make sure I leave enough behind for them and my grandkids, and I have some debts that I would like for them to pay off.
How much is something that would make what? Oh, sorry. What did you say? You said you wanted to leave something for them, or did you use a different word there?
I wanted to leave some behind for them and then them to take care of some of the debts I have.
Okay, cool. Break that down for me. What does leave some behind me? What's the amount that, like, in your head right now, knee-jerk reaction, how much per kid?
You know, 10, 15, 20,000, and then whatever to pay my debts behind. I have a large debt of 100,000.
So Nina, what I'm hearing right now is that 70,000 for including all the kids plus 100,000 is 170,000. Not $1 million. Where's the other 830 coming into play?
You know, just extra.
Just extra. Do you think, if somebody asked you, you think you did okay in life?
I think so.
Did your family leave you $1 million to do it?
No. Mm-mm.
Do you think your kids would be okay if they didn't get $1 million each?
I think so.
They'd be okay if they didn't get $250,000 apiece?
Probably.
I mean, what you're telling me right now is not adding up to $1 million. So what I want to talk to you about, Nina, is what you qualify for, number one. If I could give you $1 million of insurance for free, I would be the first person to give that to you. Unfortunately, based on your age and medications, we're not going to be able to do that. Even in perfect health, I don't think I could, in good conscience, sell you something that would cost you more than your mortgage payment a month. Okay, so I just want to get on the same page with you and show you what you qualify for, that I think you could wrestle with financially every single month to be able to leave that benefit to your kids. And then I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions that are going to get you hopefully on board with saying that $10,000 a kid, maybe another $10,000 for each grandkid. And is it really $100,000 of that? And I'm going to I don't have a full financial inventory here, but I'm going to start picking that apart. And what I'll likely do then, and then what I'll do is then I'll build out a budget. So what's your income? You're on a fixed income, you're on $1 million medications, and you want $1 million of coverage. Well, that just isn't happening. So in my head, I'm going to then try to figure out a way to say, look, Nina, what you really need to do is just not leave the financial burden of your final expenses to your kids. So we're going to go from $1 million to probably 12,500.
Yeah.
We're going to do about 10 minutes by talking through financially what it'll look like. I'll even run $1 million of fully underwritten on a 40-year-old preferred rates to be like, even this is not in your budget. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about is where you're at. So I think we can agree that rather than making your kids rich, Nina, if we can just prevent them from being in a bad spot financially, that could be our number one objective. Is that fair?
Love that. Rob,
Let's see.
I love how you ask so many questions. Like you're trying to get as much info as possible. And you're also in a way talking them out of what they're even saying, which is amazing. So love that.